Welcome to Yeshiva Dav, Shir sponsor Ludish Masayim Yakashom Nabas Yitzchok. We're holding Metzia Dav Chodalet. This is a recording of the shir that was given in Shabbos. We'll put here in summary everything that was discussed throughout that shir. Says the Gemara. We're starting at Chol Gimel base and the bottom. Shimon Lozo Omer, Mayan Poria. What is Emporia? New vessels, new kelim, that the eye wasn't used to. Hey Chidami, what are you talking about? If there is a simon, who cares? If there is a simon, you give it back to the owner. If there is no simon, so what if the eye got used to it? You have to, in order to get a Metzia back, you have to have a simon. There's no simon. Is in order to give it back to a Tzur Rabbanon by recognition. So if the eye got used to it, then you give it to Tamechachim. If the eye did not get used to it, he doesn't know what it is, you don't give it back to a Tamechachim. Meaning, Tamechachim is a unique thing, as I was going to say, that he's able to give Metzia to Tamechachim based on recognition, even if he doesn't have a sin. There is a discussion, what is this idea that Tamechachim, you give it to him based on his recognition? The Rad says it's a din of Eid Echad. You trust him as Eid. And the Pri-Yitzchok, based on the Rishonim, says the Pshat is, they trust him as Eid, but the Pshat is that the whole idea of Metzia is, you have to make sure she ain't a ram, he's not a liar. So Simon gives you that thing. But at Tamechachim, you know he's not a liar just by the fact that he recognized the Chayfetz. Interesting discussion of Rishonim over here is, how exactly do you know that Tamechachim lost it? Rashi's Mashmo says that the Chacham comes and demands it. He knows someone found it. He says, by the way, the thing you found is mine. But the other we shouldn't learn, he actually has to do achraza. But where do you do achraza? So yeah, someone is saying, they talk about they lost it in a place of Tanei Chacham. He lost it in Yeshiva Smir. So you know it belongs to Tanei Chacham. Others say, maybe he lost it, maybe not. But you announce it toward the Tanei Chacham. So different discussions, how exactly do you able to know that Tanei Chacham lost it if there's no simon? How do you know Tamechachim? There's three things that Tamechachim lies about. Ibn Yoyod already points out that Mishani doesn't mean lie, changes a little bit, doesn't say the full truth. But Masechta means, Rashi says, they ask him, do you know what you're learning? And do you know a Masechta? And he says, I do not know. Toys already asks, but we know that the Gemara says that person asks you a question, you know what the answer. Says Tosis, yes, but that here they were talking about. That's exactly the Rishonim said. Similar to Tosis. They were talking about someone needs a question, he needs to know something. So he comes to ask, can you please answer my question? Here they just ask him, do you know Masechta? So he doesn't have to know. But Puria, I want to get back to that in a moment. Ubu Ushpiz, what Ushpiz, Rashi says, they ask him if his host was a good host. He should not say he was a good host because that will cause people shaming who got him to come and come as a guest. Mara says he would say Ushpiza means they ask him different questions about his host. When does the host go to work? When does the host come home? Things he's not supposed to talk about. Then you have a din of Puria. What is Puria? Puria is Inyan. Rashi says that. Sorry. Puria. What is Puria? Puria, it says that what Puria is that Puria means a bed. What do you mean a bed? A bed means over here that they do tashmish. That's what Rashi says. So the Tais already asked me, who asks a question, they do tashmish. She said, so we talk about Tamechachim did not come to Seder in the night, and they ask him, where were you last night? So you should not try to give any remozim where he was. But the Marshal says in this in Yon Deyam, he says, Purim means Purim. Purim. When you want Purim? Purim means they ask him, did you get drunk in Purim? You know you have to get the Adon Lo Yoda. Adon Lo Yoda, he says, did you get drunk in Purim? Tamechachim doesn't want to say he got drunk, he says he didn't get drunk. And in the Sefer Yad Chanoich, we speak about it more in length in the Shor Machshava, but the Nikud we want to get to over here is that the Sefer Yad Chanoich says that Adon Lo Yoda means that there is over here it's a machlekes between our Gemara and the Gemara in Megillah. Because more Megillah says the rabbi got drunk, he got so drunk that he went and what did he do? He killed Reb Zeru. So such a greatness of drunkenness. The Yerushalmi is different because the Yerushalmi says that the Yerushalmi brings Rabbi Yoino had a headache when he drank at Pesach until Shavuos. What about when he drank at Purim? You see from here, like the Marshal says, Teochachu should not get drunk. Just one moment. Let's continue on. So it says the Gemara, my nafkamina. What is the nafkamina between the you know Tamei Chacham, the you know the Tamei Chacham because he lies about these three things. You give them back an avedo b'tiyusayin. If you know only these three things, he doesn't change madrinally. But if he lies about other things, so then you don't give it back to him. Meaning, the simon Tamei Chacham is he lies only about these three things, not anything else. It says the Gemara, Marzudra Chasido, Ignim Kasha Kaspo, Nushpizo. Marzudra Chasido was stolen from him a cup of silver from his host. Chazalu Bar Beirav, the Mashi Yadim Nagi Beglim Dechabe. He says that Tamei Chacham washing his hands and drying his hands on the clothing of his friend. Oh, this is the guy who doesn't care about the mourning of his friend. He tied him up, he punished him until he admitted that was really him. So what is the kesher, what shaykhos over here? To Chaim explains, you see that when someone's not careful of other things, that means that he's going to be the one stealing. So here also, you don't trust the Chacham if he's not careful with other things. Shimon ben Elazar agrees in new kelim that the eyes were recognized. He needs to announce it for Tamei Chacham. We're talking about what's the kelim that are new that you don't have to announce? Badei means, as the one's going to say in a moment, is like small sticks that have on it, tied in them sticks or rings. Machoti mitziloris, different types of needles. You have the attachment of different axes. It's new kelim. Which were very standard. That's if he found one by one. If he found two of them, because then he can come and when they get mimachis the sin. My body, what's the word body mean? Shuche. Shuche means branches. My correlate body, davar that totally be anything that hangs with something else, bad correlate. It's called a bad. Like we learned there, talking about what? Here's a problem, because Rashi says we talk about a rova. A rova, one stem of a rova with one leaf of a rova is good enough. And he says that's the Chor talking about a rova in Sukkah. Problem is the Gemara that he's talking about is the rova in Beis Hamikdash. The Vilna Gaon already points it out. Leave it aside. This is not our story. Someone who says from animals like a lion, a bear, a namer is a tiger, a leopard. Bardos is according to Rashi, it's savua, which means a hyena. Or something went into the sea. Spoke about Zuta Shayam is the sea overflows or the river overflows. Now the next part. He finds a big street or a big intersection in the city. That's it. So here, as Rishonim point out, the first part is Zuta Shayam. That's because of Gzeras HaKosov. The second part is because of Yush. The word Rabbi Mitzvah Shem is Yush. So this is the Gemara here shift. Until now we spoke Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar regarding the idea that new kelim you give it to Tamei Chacham, and if it's not new, you give it to Tamei Chacham to Yiseno. New kelim you don't have to do anything with it. Now we bring a second Shimon ben Elazar. Second Shimon ben Elazar says you go based on Rabbi. Where if Rabbi Mitzuyim Sham, so then you know that you don't have to give it back. It says the Gemara. Is it talk about when you have a majority of goyim? If it's the majority of Yisrael, then you do have to give it back. Or do I feel Rabbi Yisrael now? If Rabbi Yisrael, Torah says because maybe the Yisrael Shlom Me'al, if Yisrael don't give back Avedo, and they will take it out. I feel Rabbi Yisrael Nami Omar. Even Rabbi Yisrael Nami Omar, I will tell you even Rabbi Yisrael, Pligi Rabbanan Alei Pligi. Rabbanan argue that or not. Of course, arguing Rabbi Yisrael. Toys says that he has a gear, so there's not even a question. We know for sure the Rabbanan argue on Rabbi Yisrael, as we'll see later. But Rav Kananim, Pligi or Pligi, did they argue Rav Kananim? If they argue even there, Halol Kamois, Halol Kamois, Halol like him or not. Do you say always only Rav Kananim? So many stakes we have to know what are we talking about. He finds money in a shul or a besmedish. Any place that there's many people, the Baal give up hope. Who's the one who follows Roiv? Shimon Lazar. Shabbos, we have to leave Rabbi Yisrael. You see, even Rabbi Yisrael, because we talk about shuls and besmedish, even there he's talking about. So at least we know that Rabbi Lazar and Shimon spoke about both. Talk about it's scattered money, and he has a yush. So I need rabbi. If you know rabbi, once it's scattered and he throws it and falls in his pocket, it's not going to be here. We talk about that it's gathered. About the knesiyah shekananim. Talk about a shul of a guy. What's knesiyah? Knesiyah. They get together. But the midrash is Michael and Mema. Bismedish, you can't use it in a goy. But the midrash is Didon Diyasim Ukrani. Especially of us that the Kranim were there actually says to guard it. You want to say that? But the Knesset is Nami Didon Diyasim Ukrani. Talk about shuls of our shuls. Go and sit there and guard there. So Rashi explains, and the place can bring a right from here. You cannot go in being the ones guard the shul. Now, why have they guard there? They're there most of the time. Says the Gemara. Toshva, not so ba'avido. If you found an avido, remember Yisrael chav lachris. Most of Yisrael you have to be machris. Remember Kananim, ain't no chav lachris. Rav Kananim not in machris. Mat Shabbos edom azim basuruba the rikir but the roiv. Rav Shimon Lazar. Shabbos we know Yom Shimon Lazar Rav Kananim. Not after Rav Kananim. Al Rav Yisrael loy. Rav Yisrael not. So the more I'm not Rabbanim. That is Rabbanim. Rabbanim said Rav Yisrael not Rav Kananim. Tir Shimon not the one Rabbanim Shimon Lazar Rav Kananim. See Rav Kananim they agree that once it got lost Rav Kananim you don't have to give it back. Elohim Shimon Lazar. I feel Rabbi Yisrael Nami. Even Rabbi Yisrael, he says you don't have to give it back. Talk about it's hidden, it's covered. What are you doing with it? You will see in tomorrow's daf. If you find Kli Ashbo covered, you don't touch it. You find it revealed, it's lost, you have to be machas. We're going to learn tomorrow's daf. It was an ashbo, it was not supposed to be moved, and suddenly the municipality decided to move it. Talk about it was moved from the place it was supposed to be. So now the Yisrael doesn't know. Yisrael thinks he put it in a hiding place. He went to the garbage, just I have the best hiding place. I'm going to hide it here in the hiding place. Then the municipality decided to move the good garbage and put real estate over there. So now put buildings over there. He doesn't know about it. So now you have to go and help the Jew. So then he said that's what it's doing in his hand. So here we talk about Betomun. That's why. He's not in Misyash. Says Toys, but once he knows the garbage was moved, he will be Misyash. Says Toys, that's Yushal Midas. He's going to find it only after the fact. The point that it's not exactly Yushal Midas. Yushal Midas means something that I know today. If you would know about it, you would give up. Here, if you knew the facts, he would not give up. He knows the Jew found it. So that's a point on the side. That's Toys says you're Yushal Midas. One thing could be before you move to the base, and that is, Toys asks, when you talk about Rav Yisrael, what about the fact that, when you talk about Rav Goyim, what about the fact that probably it fell from a guy? Why do you have to give it back? Toys asks this question over here. So the Kivega points out, Toys already Le'el, Daf Chav Gimel, asked this question. And Toys just said an answer. Toys says, the Gabi Hashavah Savedo, you don't go based on Rav. Chazal said you have to be Machris. And part of the idea is because you didn't lose any money on it. So be Machris. So why is Toys asking the question again? The Kivega comes to some Doichek to say that according to Shimon and Elazar, you have to say he disagrees with that. And that's what Toys brings this question. Continues going to Chodal and Bezi, basically Rabban. It's really Rabban. Mikitani him shaloi. Doesn't say it's his. Don't announce it. Leave it down. You have to be Simon Mishaka. You leave it, and if you saw it comes, you give it back. You don't have to be machris. You dividing between a chaza and taking it to yourself. Rashi says because it's roiv knanim, because it's got to be. That's why you don't have to do a chaza. But it's not yours either because you don't go basa roiv in mamon, meaning especially in aveda. You found a barrel of wine in the city of Goyim. Muteres mishum Metzia. How to take it? Asur ba'anoi. Now I'll enjoy it because maybe it's Nesach. By Yisrael, and also Basiman, can be Yisrael give a simon? Muteris b'shtiel l'moitzo. The one who finds can drink it because now he knows it belongs to Yisrael. Says the one Kimaikav Shimon Lazar. That's a Shimon Lazar. Why? Because Shimon Lazar goes to be right. Shimon Lazar of Knani or Yisrael Loi. He says clearly a Rav Goy, Rav Yisrael, what to say it? So Shimon Lazar Rav Yisrael Namikam. It could be Shimon Lazar agrees Rav Yisrael also you don't have to give it back. Rav Asi saw it say Bechad or Pogli Bechad. Rav Asi that's quoting it. He's going with Shimon Lazar with one and not the other. So if it's also Bano, so why is Mutar Shemitzia? I mean, what's the point of Mutar Shemitzia? You can't enjoy it anyway. You can enjoy the barrel. You can enjoy you can't enjoy the wine. You can enjoy where the barrel itself, or the color of the barrel that you can enjoy. He finds 4 zuzim that are together. I mean, they're put together. They're not just thrown away, not scattered. And they're in the Nar Bir in this river. Also, go announce it. We just learned if he goes in the river or the sea, you don't have to give it back. So when Shani Nar Bir, talk about that specific river, came in the Mitkil because it has stones and it shifts from place to place. Things don't just flow away. The majority of them are going. Even Rav Kain, we don't go after him. Shainar Bion, the Yisrael Sochule, Yisrael Korele. Yisrael are the ones they're the ones that put the dam on the river. They're the ones that dig the river. They're the ones that put the dam in Yisrael, and maybe it fell from there. Yisrael Korele, they're the ones that are there working and to find it. Loy Miyash. So therefore, there's no Yusha over there. He's going after Mashul in this market. Only Matzakan Arne came out. You find a wall over here, what happens then? Only really Shalai, it's yours. But you saw Menosan Basiman now, but you saw a couple that says his. Only Chav Lachzi, give it back to him. Tarti? You just say you don't have to give it back. You say it's yours, and I say I have to give it back. Only Lifnim Mishur Sadin. You give it the Fnim Mishur Sadin, you don't have to give it back. But the Fnim Mishur Sadin, you should do it. Kiad Dabu, the Shur Ashkechan, and Chamid Bemidbor, he found these donkeys in the desert. Give it back to his owners after 12 months. Rashi takes argues, what does after 12 months mean? Rashi means he found it after 12 months. So the Bailing was Visyash. He didn't have to give it back. He went to the Fruit didn't give it back. Tori says he found it right away. But 12 months passed. He didn't have to give back the donkeys. He could have give back the money. But he gave the donkeys the Fruit Shasadin. The Fruit Shasadin, after the Fruit Shasadin. Tori already points out here the Fruit Shasadin. Here the Gemara doesn't bring the pasuk that we learned Bava Kamo that says, to teach you that you have to do the Fruit Shasadin. It says places different levels of the Fruit Shasadin. Here's the future Shasadin that you are unique. Everybody else does something. This person is unique. Like Gemara Bava Kamo. They looked at money, and this guy knows the money. He doesn't have to give it back. He made a mistake. So there you do the future Shasadin to be like everybody else. There's the next level over here. Everybody doesn't have to give it back. You want to give it back. There's a third level when someone has a loss. And that's another Gemara. Now here what's interesting is that the Shulchan brings this Shita. There's a Shita in Mordechai that says, Koifino the future Shasadin. You force somebody to do the future Shasadin. Shulchan says if he's poor or not, but if he's rich and he can handle it, give back the Avedo. The koifin, machlekes b'srichur bring if you koifin b'shoitim, beat him up, or koifin b'dvarim with words. But there's koifin of shasadim, something you need to understand, be more ma'ayin. Similar, Rav Shokad Azib Aswed Avnach Meshukad the Galdoy. So Rav is going behind Rav Nachman in the market of the shoemakers. Parallel with Shukad Rabban, some say Shukad Rabban, maybe in Efkamina regarding Rabban we said before. Amalei Matzakan Arne came out. He found the wall here. What's the thing? Amalei Rishulai, it is. Boy, you saw it also be Simon now. You saw give us a Simon. What is it? Amalei Rishulai, it still is. He's screaming, I want it back. He's crying on something which is lost. It's already lost because of Yush. And this is where the Maharal, we mentioned at the beginning of the parak, comes. The Torah says that the only time an owner is an owner is when he has das in it. When he has Yush, it's not his. It's as if it got burnt. You can take it. The type of bird, says Rashi. Shakil bistro beshuko. He took meat in the market. Vishadi betzanyoso de beimarmayim. Put it between the trees of beimarmayim. Also came in front of a bay. Omali zil shkolom shal. He could take it. There, Ruby Yisrael Ninu. It came from Ruby Yisrael. Shamina loch of Shimon Loza flew Ruby Yisrael. You see, from Ruby Yisrael, we paskin that loch of him is misyash. Shani de yoy kazudu shayam dami. Yoy is like completely lost. You know, the big bird will take it. It's gone. One second, if Basar Shesai, if you didn't see the Basar, so it becomes asul la'achila according to Rav. So more bo'im in here. He saw the bird taking the meat, and he started throwing it down. The meat was always in his vision. He found a shechted goat between Torah and Tzibur. B'tiru, they let him take it. Metzia, because Metzia can take it. Because you have the right. That, what did he say? The Tanya Rish Abdullah Gadi overturned Goyl. He lost his goats and his chicken. He found them shechted. He says it's also. He says mutter. You're allowed to do it. You're allowed to eat. See the most explained on the second one. We found it in the garbage. It means it was thrown away. It means that he shechted, there was a psul, threw it away. He found it in the house. The fact that they allowed him because of shechita, it means Rabbi Yisrael. Rabbi Yisrael. Shami, he's still allowed him to take because of Metzia. Shami Loch, Rabbi Yisrael, even Rabbi Yisrael, you pass him like Shimon Lazar, that what? That you're allowed to take it. Amar Rabbi Rav Knani. There's Rav Knani. Rav Tabachi Yisrael. The most of the butchers, the ones who shecht Yisrael, that's what you're allowed to eat. You're allowed to eat because you know that in this town, all the meats are considered to be shechted in a kosher way. Because the butchers are Yisrael. But it's coming from a goy, so that but the owners are goy. He found shechted pargiyos, types of birds, gozolos, or chicken, let's say, between Tfer and Tzibor. Also, Kamida Abbas came from Amasi. He went to one of these places. He said, go take it to yourself. Right? What about the Roiv? L'churo, someone they're showing what to see. This is Rav Yisrael. So even Rav Yisrael, maybe. He found, Rashi says, we're talking about, there's threads that were already done into nets. He found the nets. You go take it for yourself. Why? Because you have a rave. So here the discussion is, what do we paskin? And how does it work? Because the Chura comes out over here. The last two stories, the Chura is some shame want to learn that this is talking about Rav Yisrael. So this Rav Yisrael is you see that we go over that. I believe that the common where it comes up from the halacha is we do follow Rav Shimon by Rav Goyim, but not by Rav Yisrael because of the stakes of the Gemara. So again, what was the whole point? Just to summarize before we end, is that the shaila is when you have something which was found in a place that you have many people, does a person misyash automatically knowing that someone took it away or not? Rabbanan say no, it's not misyash. Shimon maybe Rabbanan more discuss where Rabbanan argue, and Rav Shimon Lazar says yes. Now, if Shimon Lazar says yes, we're going to discuss what it is. Tosafos says that according to Rabbanon, according to one gear so the more that we don't have, is that it's also many riots from our Gemaras that by Rav Yisrael, Rabbanon for sure argue. And then you have to give it back. We don't, why? Because what's the reason? Rav Yisrael, why should you not give it back? The only reason Tosafos says in Amud Aleph, because maybe they'll call a Jew who's not loy me'ali, he's not a good Jew, he's not going to give it back. We're not chaysh to that. Now Rabbanon argue. So that's why by Rav Yisrael, we hold that you do give it back. By Rav Goyim, then we're not even sure Rabbanon argue. Could be Rabbanon agreed with Shimon Lazar that Rav Goyim, you don't have to give it back because the person who lost it is misyash. So even though usually we don't go by Metzia based on Rav in terms of who it fell from, but you do, even if you say if it belongs to a Jew, you still is misyash if you're talking about a place of Rav Goyim. So go Rabbi say, Afer Lechapurim and Kol Tuv.